Hi there, this is Penelope. This is a video on solving linear equations by using the Gaussian elimination method. Now, it sounds really fancy method of doing it, and all it is though is a bigger version, because we're usually talking 3 or 4 unknowns and 3 or 4 equations. It's just a bigger version of what you do when you are solving simultaneous equations by elimination. So it's just the grown-up version of that. Sometimes it's really, really hard to see what you're doing. I personally find it a particularly difficult way of doing these sort of problems. I would far rather use the inverse, and I would use Excel to find the inverse as well. The first thing we need to do though, when we're being told we need to use the Gaussian elimination method, is to put this into matrix form. Like that. Now, what we can do is we can subtract 2 times row 1 from row 2 to give because what we want to do is we want to get this bottom corner here all zeros. So we want to get that to be a triangle of zeros, because then we can find what C is, and then we can backwardly work out the stuff. So then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to subtract 3 times row 1 from row 3. And this is starting to give us more zeros. Now, because we've got a second zero, one at the beginning of the third line, and that allows us now to be able to get rid of the -4. So if we subtract -4 over -5 times R2 from R3, then the bottom line has 0, 0, and that's what we needed to get. So now we've got our 2 zeros, and we've done all the tricky work. Now we can put it back as a matrix, and we can start finding A, B, and C. So putting it back as a matrix, so that times A, B, and C is now equal to, which allows us straight away to see that 6C is equal to -18. And then moving back up the second line, then 5B plus 5C equals 5. So that allows us to work out B. And then using both of them in the line that says A plus 2B minus 3C equals 3 allows us to work out that A is 2. So there's our solution, or our solution set. A equals 2, B equals -4, and C equals -3. So as you can see, it's just a big version of what you do when you've just got 2 equations. You try and eliminate one of the variables, solve for the other one, and then use that one to find the other. This time it's got 3, but it's the same process. So we'll do the same here. We'll start off by writing it as in a matrix form. Now this time let's just do two things at the same time. Let's subtract 2 times row 1 from row 2. You can kind of see why. Oops. Because of that. And then we're going to subtract 3 times row 1 from row 3. And again, that is because of that, and it's going to give us the zeros in that first column straight off. You can do it as 2 steps if that's what you'd rather do. But you can start to see the zeros appear. Now, all we've got to do is to get rid of the 14, and if we subtract 14 over 9 times R2 from R3, we're good to go. Then we have enough zeros to be able to start working backwards. Now you can see I use my calculator here. That doesn't matter. Okay, so next step was to rewrite it as a matrix again. But we've got that triangle of zeros. So, from the bottom line then, negative 4.33 times C equals negative 4.33. So C is 1. Then we can put that into the second line. So we get 9B plus 6C equals negative 39. And that'll give us that B is equal to negative 5. And then put that into the top line, so that then we've got A minus 4B minus 2C equals 21, and that'll give us that A is 3. So the solutions: A equals 3, B equals negative 5, and C equals 1.